I'm getting your hands in the uphill, huh? Both ways.
I'm gonna have me some Gatorade today. Ooh, nice Gatorade. Hey, what are you doing in my refrigerator? You kids have some issues. This is not right. Who gave you a key anyway? I got my Gatorade. It's a nice day outside. You're here. Let's do some reading, shall we? I got some special things planned for today. Get out of my refrigerator. That's not right. So, as I've mentioned to all of my students, you know I love to run. I've run 2 marathons. Ran the Chicago Marathon the year before last, and last year I ran in Montreal. And they were extraordinary experiences. I ran Chicago for my first marathon when I was 51 years old. And I'm planning on running next year as well, back in Chicago. So one of my students, I won't say who, but you know who you are, he emailed and suggested, well, you're going to go running today, and you're going to do a video lesson today with Sarny, so why don't you combine the two? I thought, I don't know how I could do that, but I'll give it a shot. Hold on a second, kids, because I'm going to continue, but Jimmy wants to say hello. Hold on a minute. Say hello, Jimmy. Say hello to the students. They want to say hi. Hey, this is your time to speak. You're not going to speak? Useless. Okay, I'm sorry, kids. I apologize for that. We rehearsed that all morning, and I think he gets stage fright. But so as you can see, I am teacher up top. Got my Tigger tie on today. Yeah, I know, it looks good. I know, you don't have to say it. I get it, looks great. And down below, I've got a cat and my trainers. Oh yeah, we are gonna do some reading and we're gonna do some running. See you in a bit. Okay, so welcome to the front of my building here. It's such a gorgeous day. I don't know, I thought we would try for maybe 5 miles today. We'll see how things go. Fact of the matter is, today, if there's a theme for Sarny, and if there's a theme for running, that would be perseverance. The word perseverance, to strive under very difficult circumstances and to overcome. And I think that's something we can all relate to, particularly now, right? So how am I accomplishing this? Well, I had to make a homemade selfie stick, which I'll show you now. So I know it's a work of art, that selfie stick, and I'm sure getting a lot of looks out today, but oh well, that's so what else is new. I guess maybe I'm the first. It's okay. No, that's fine. I'm a teacher, so I'm an English teacher. Yep, it's all good. Yeah, she looked a little freaked out, but anyway, so we're going to start running. I'm not going to read and run because I think that would be a little bit ridiculous, but we'll run a mile, I'll stop, I'll do some reading, I'll run another mile, I'll stop and do some reading, and we'll see how things go. What could go wrong? Okay, my GPS watch says we're ready, so roads are clear, let's start running. Nice day. Check my pace. Ooh, terrible. Better speed it up a little bit, huh? All right. Here, take a look at my neighborhood. Freeport's a wonderful town. If you've never been, I love it here. All right, so I'm gonna run to the end of this road. Oop, hear a car coming. I'll run to the end of this road, around the block, come back to the front of my apartment, and we'll catch up with each other again. See you in a bit. All right, I'm at the end of the block now. Running, I don't know, at about 7 miles per hour. I don't know if you can read that. I just wanted to point out, this is the school that my mom taught for 40-something years. It's called Atkinson Elementary School. You guys might not know. My mom was an elementary school music teacher, and a really good one. So that's my mom's school. She's retired now, but I have a lot of memories of going to that school and helping her do things with her kids. I even worked there a little bit for a time. Fun times. All right, check back with you soon. All right, wow, what a beautiful day. Okay, coming to the end of our first mile. Just bopping along. Nice easy pace, nothing too fast. Got my new shoes on. Went with some Asics Nova Blasts today. Feeling really good. And I can see we just did our first mile. I'll show you. I don't know if you can read that, but I'm going to pause my watch here. All right, not bad. Now let's do some reading. All right, I've got my camera set up in a bush, which is a little bit weird, but you know, we get things done. We make do. My homemade selfie stick and a bush. That'll work. So 1 mile down. Let's start chapter 10, shall we? All right. So when we left off, Sarny and Lucy had met Miss Laura and Bartlett, and they decided to travel together to New Orleans. And what's amazing about that is, for the first time in her life, Sarny has been employed. She has a job. Chapter 10. It was still slow. Better than the wheelbarrow, but better as day is better than night, but still slow, because the road, it was jammed with soldiers and wheel guns, and the carriage was too big to go around. First thing on the road, we hadn't gone 10 paces after we turned out of the lane into the traffic, when an officer on a big bay, that's a big horse, officer with all sorts of gold on his blue shoulder, he rode up alongside the carriage. "What in blue blazes are you doing with this rig on the road?" Okay, so you can see Miss Laura's first interaction with this man. He is very macho. He's ordering, he's commanding, he's telling her in a very firm voice, "What are you doing here?" And let's see how Miss Laura uses her power to handle him. She replies, "Oh dear, I'm afraid I'm in the way." Miss Laura, she smiled up at him through the window, and I could see him start to melt. "I'm terribly sorry, but I have an urgent need to get to New Orleans." "New Orleans? But that's still in rebel hands." "So I understand, but still, I have to get there." "I'm sorry if this is disruptive, but I have a letter of passage from from General Carrington. Would this help?" "Madam, General Carrington commands this whole sector. If he says you can pass, you can pass. Please allow me to furnish you with an escort to clear the way. So let's take a second here. It's really quite amazing what Miss Laura just did. So she used a couple of different techniques to gain power over this macho general on a horse with medals and all of that. Can you guess what the first one is? Okay, yes, if you said that she flirted with him a little bit, she smiled and winked and all of it, you'd be right. Flattery, it works. It's social currency, and she was okay with using it. Do you know what the second thing she did? Yep, she used the letter from Brett. She didn't say General Carrington at first. She said Brett, which tells us what? Yeah, that they're very, very close friends, that they're familiar, that she knows him by his first name. That tells this officer on the horse a lot about their relationship. And so even though General Carrington is not there to stick up for Miss Laura, the fact that she name drops, the fact that she has that letter, the fact that she knows him and uses his power to her advantage tells us a lot about who she is as a character, and why, even though women at this time had really very, very little rights, they were essentially slaves. But even still, here you have a woman who's very powerful and is using that power to her advantage. And Sarny says, learned from that, men think they have power, and some do, but it's only show power, like bulls getting ready to fight, all dust and pain. Women have the underneath power. Little push here, little push there, and things happen. Men don't see it, but it's so. They think they own everything can be done, but it ain't that way. Watching Miss Laura, I learned. Things went some better after that, still slow, but faster than the wheelbarrow by 3 times, and I settled back for the ride. Miss Laura, she looked out the window some, and looked at me some, and looked at Tyler too some, and smiled now and again, but didn't say too much. The escort was 4 men on horses, with a young officer who kept coming back to the carriage to ask Miss Laura if everything was all right. Thank you for your concern, she'd say. Yes, everything is fine, and she'd smile so sweet. The man would go off all puffed up. Once I smiled, couldn't help it. He was just so puffy and full of himself. Little boy with a gun on a horse. She smiled and knew what I was looking at. Aren't men wonderful, she said. They can do so many useful things for us. All we have to do is let them. Okay, and we're going to stop there for a second because I think it's time for me to run another mile. We'll catch up in a bit. All right, guys. So we're coming in on mile 2. Feeling good. I'm so glad I got out today. You know, it's not good to be indoors all the time, and it's such a beautiful day, and just to get outside and do something physical, I tell you, it feels wonderful, and I'm really enjoying it. Glad I could take you along with me. We just hit mile 2. Let's see how we did. Ooh, an 8-minute pace. Can you see that? So that's a bit faster. A little hotter than mile 1. We'll take it. And I will pause right here. Okay, I'll put you right over there. Sitting on the stoops of my apartment building. I think I could use some Gatorade, you know? That Gatorade I love so much. Boy, I've got a lot of compliments on my tie when I was out running today. I can't blame people. I mean, it's stunning, I have to say. That's good Gatorade. Gotta like that. So let's pick up where we left off, shall we? By the way, if anybody's interested, and I don't know why you would be, I'm gonna post my mile splits from my watch at the end of this video, so you can see how I ran each mile, if you want. Okay, so Sarny says, you really know the Blue General? Brett? Oh my, yes. We're dear friends. I met him when he came to New Orleans before the war. I held a gala for him when he was promoted. Saw it then. She turned her head to look out the window, and the scarf over her hair pulled away, and right there, in the back of her ear, I saw it. Tight hair, tight little black curls, frizzy hair. I stared, couldn't help it. Last thing I expected to see against that white skin. What did Sarny just discover here? Sorry about that, that's the mailman. It's okay, I'm a teacher, so you know. So what did Sarny just discover here about Miss Laura? Quite amazing. Let's take a moment until the mail truck goes away, shall we? All right. So the mailman's truck was a little noisy, so I figured, you know what? Take this time, turn lemons into lemonade, run mile 3. So here we are, finishing up mile 3 now. I don't think I'm as fast as mile 2. I'm not a fast runner anyway. But I think I'll be happy with a little over 8 minutes per mile. Oop, there goes the watch. Let's see how we did, huh? Ooh. Look at that. That's 7:59. Under 8. Perseverance, right? That's our theme for today, perseverance. And mile 3, we're coming right back to the front of my apartment and we'll continue our reading. Catch up with you in a bit. And we are back to the bush where it's a little quieter. So, let me get my spectacles on here. All right. So, when we left off, I'd asked you a question, and that was, what did Sarny just learn about Miss Laura? Quite fascinating, actually. Let me repeat this paragraph. Saw it then. She turned her head to look out the window, and the scarf over her hair pulled away, and right there in back of her ear, I saw it. Tight hair, tight little black curls, frizzy hair. I stared. Couldn't help it. Last thing I expected to see against that white skin. She turned back and saw where I was looking and smiled again, but didn't say anything. Just held her finger to her lips and shook her head a tiny bit and pulled the scarf down to cover it again. So what does Sarny learn? It's a surprising twist to this plot, but we just learn, along with Sarny, that Dealey is black. She's an African-American woman who's passing as a white woman. How can that be? Well, again, Gary Paulson is challenging our stereotypes. I mean, what is white and black anyway? Skin colors range in a variety of different ways, don't they? There's no absolutes here. And it just so happens to be that as an African-American woman, Miss Laura has been able to pass as a white woman. Quite extraordinary plot twist. I'd heard of them. Dealey, she told me about women who passed. Didn't say were they bad or good, just some were called octoroons, and they passed. I thought, oh my, here she sits in all this, riding a fine carriage with a letter from a general and a blue escort, and inside, she's as black as me. Made me chuckle, little laugh. What are you so happy on? Lucy, her face suddenly came into the window, hanging upside down, big smile across it. You look like you ate a whole pie. Thinking on life, I said, thinking on how life is upside down sometimes, like you. Lucy, she swung back up and was gone, and Miss Laura, she waved her hand. She seems happy. Lucy, she's always happy, especially with men. She's up there with Bartlett, and that will keep her happy enough. Maybe keep Bartlett happy too. And I think that's a good place for us to pause while I go run mile 4. I think this shirt needs to be laundered a little bit. Yeah. All right, I'll catch back up with you in a second. All right. So, 12 minutes Look at that, 12 minutes. You know what happened? That whole last reading session, I didn't stop my watch. Dope. My watch thought I was still running. I'm gonna stop it now though. So, my watch thought the whole time that I was reading to you, my watch thought that I was just running really slowly. I'm not a fast runner, but I'm faster than that. Well, the mileage is accurate, but when I post the splits, you're gonna see the time for that mile at least won't be. Hopefully I'll be able to sync everything back up. Stay tuned. Okay, so that was pretty idiotic of me. A little more Gatorade would be nice. All right, so that's mile 4 done. I think it was about the same pace though. I didn't really run any differently. All right, so when we left off, so Lucy's up on the top of the carriage with Bartlett. Lucy, she's happy, especially with men. She's up there with Bartlett, and that will keep her happy enough, maybe keep Bartlett happy too. Oh, Miss Laura says, you needn't worry about Bartlett. He's a dear man and has been with me a long time. He's not quite functional, if you know what I mean. He's a eunuch. Now, this is a very sad aspect of how some slaves were treated during this time. And I really need for you to be very mature about what I'm going to say and understand that Gary Paulson includes this detail as a historical fact and something tragic. The truth is that some slave owners did to their male slaves what we do to our cats and dogs so that they can't have babies. And that's what Miss Laura is sharing with Sarny about Bartlett at that moment, and it's a very sad thing. And let's see how Sarny reacts to this tragedy and this real disrespect and even objectification of Bartlett's humanity. I didn't know what she meant. Lots of her words went around me, and then maybe some still would. I'd get the main ones, almost all, but some of the important ones seemed to skitter past before I could get their meaning locked up to hold. Sometimes I'd ask, but wasn't I careful, I'd be asking all the time, and I didn't want to look dumb. Don't think I am. Never thought I was dumb. But a place in me didn't even want to look that way, so I held back, and I didn't find out until later that she meant Bartlett had been cut when he was a small boy so he couldn't make children. Owner did it when Bartlett, he was still a slave. Before Miss Laura, before she bought him and gave him freedom. Hope there's a hell, I thought when I finally learned what it meant. Hope there's a hell. And Waller is there, and the man who cut Bartlett was there, and Grierson was there. Bartlett, he turned out to be the finest, most gentle and understanding man I ever knew. I hope there's a hell. So, wow, very powerful words from Sarny, right? She ends this, and I'm not so sure if I'm getting the emotion of Sarny or Gary Paulson or both to what we've learned about Bartlett, because it produces such an angry response and a very powerful one. So we're going to pause there one more time. I'm going to go for mile 5 now, and we'll come back and we'll see if we have some more to read together, okay? Be back in a tick. I'm back. Coming to the end of mile 5, feeling good. You know, our theme today is perseverance, and I feel like I'm persevering. You know, it's one thing running teaches us. It's kind of an old saying with runners. Get comfortable with discomfort. And anybody who's run a distance or a marathon even, you know what I'm talking about. Because, sorry, I think my batteries are cutting out on me here. when you think about discomfort, what is it? A momentary feeling. It's not going to last forever. It goes away. And that's when my batteries died. I only have one battery. I ordered 2 more from Amazon. I don't know how long we're all going to be out of school, but I figured I should probably have some extra batteries. And I ordered a real selfie stick. Not that mine did a bad job today, though it did kind of capture the top of my head a lot in some of these shots. But you know, I'm no Martin Scorsese. So, you know, what did we learn today about perseverance? I think it connects to our lives. I think it connects to running. I think it connects to Sarny. And as I was saying before my batteries died, you know, discomfort, inconvenience, and even pain, these are things that we have the power to manage. We're exceptional. And we are a community. And I know in my heart that we will endure this, whatever this is. So, you know, I hope you enjoyed today's reading. I'm going to continue the chapter. There's not much more in the chapter. We got through quite a bit today. I'll continue the chapter, hopefully tomorrow. That's my goal. Hi, Jimmy. No, please don't get in my shot. You look, I'm talking to the children here, and I think they like me better than you, basically, don't they? All right, maybe not. Let's not have any popularity contests. I know he'll win. He's wonderful. But anyway, as I was saying, tune in to my website again tomorrow, the next day. Keep checking in. I'm going to continue to try to deliver some lessons that are from the heart. They're not going to be perfect. Believe me, they're not going to be perfect, as witnessed by today's lesson. But we're all doing the best we can, right? So to all of my students and your families, please be safe, be positive, and be healthy, and be very proud of our amazing Manhasset community during these very challenging times. We have a wonderful administration, the Manhasset Education Association, our faculty, our staff. We will get through this together. Everybody dab. You want to say goodbye, Jimmy? Say goodbye. Say goodbye to the kids. Bye.